Welcome to Breaking Free, a space for truth telling, healing, and the courage to face what was once hidden. Good morning, everybody. I'm the Mirror. In this podcast, I reflect on wounds, wisdom, and the wild resilience that has shaped my journey. I want to be clear about something. Little disclaimer: I'm not a therapist or a licensed professional. I'm simply someone who lived through years of emotional and psychological trauma. Someone who finally found their voice and is now choosing to speak, not in anger, but in truth. My hope is that by sharing my story, I can shed some light on the silent damage caused by narcissistic abuse, especially within the family unit. And maybe, just maybe, you'll feel less alone in your own experience. Let's get started. Okay, so I am the first of 6 children. But for the first 6 years of my life, it was just me, an only child, unaware of what was coming. I often think back to those early days. There's this quiet before the storm. I can still feel, when I close my eyes, moments of innocence that now feel like ghosts of a life that never fully belonged to me. My mother at the time was having an affair with her boss, a married man. I was only about, say, 4 or 5 when I saw something no child should ever have to see. So, my mother took me to her workplace one day. It was cold, almost industrial, like a warehouse or a shop. The images are a bit vivid, but that's what I recall it to be. I was placed in front of a television to keep me occupied, but I needed the bathroom, so I wandered off. That's when I saw them, my mother and this man she was involved with, kissing. Gosh, damn, it felt like the time froze. I didn't have the words to explain what I had seen, but I knew it was wrong. It didn't feel like something I was meant to witness. I told my cousin. She spent a lot of time at our place. We were quite close, having sleepovers after school. She was there. So naturally, she was the one that I talked to, and I told her about it. I think mostly because I just needed someone to help me make sense of what went on. And to this day, I don't know if she told anyone else. But soon after that, her mother, my mother, and one of my mother's other sisters confronted us. Now, picture this scene. I'm under 6 years old. She's about 2 years older than me. We're both young, under 10. They confront us. They're angry, they're dismissive, accusing us of making up lies. Yeah, I kind of learned early that telling the truth could get you punished. That people, especially women like my mother, would rather preserve their image than protect their children from pain. Horrible experience for anybody to go through, let alone a kid. That, I would definitely say, was the first crack in the mirror. Not long after that, my mother became pregnant, and when she gave birth, it was quite obvious to everyone, especially my father, that this baby wasn't his. You see, the guy she had an affair with was a different nationality. So it was quite obvious the child didn't look like my dad, and absolutely no resemblance. So, yeah, there was no dodging that one. I still remember the look on my father's face. I didn't fully understand it back then. I didn't actually understand what was going on at all. But I've come to realize now that the look on my father's face was the look of a man who was watching his world fall apart. He was crushed by the worst betrayal ever, and he was absolutely helpless. There was nothing he could do to stop any of this from happening. What came next was a slow motion unraveling, so to speak, because you see, my mother refused to stop seeing this man, and she would wait for my father to leave for work and then sneak off with a newborn kid. And what she didn't realize was that people in the neighborhood saw my dad's car parked in an open field. We're talking about back in the day where everybody noticed everything that was going on, and word definitely got around. And one day my dad came home early from work and caught her red-handed with this man. I'm actually glad I was not there to witness the whole ordeal. You see, I was in school and I was busy navigating new routines, learning how to read, everything that goes with school. And my mother was living out her second life, one she never tried to hide for long, which is sad. So my father, who had every right to leave, stayed. He stayed, and to this day, I still don't know why. Maybe it was love, maybe it was fear. Maybe he believed that things could be fixed. He was inevitably trying to fix a relationship, trying to fix a woman that could not be fixed. So nothing really got better. The house was more of a war zone than a home. And there were screaming matches, there was constant arguments. My mother would do stupid things like pack up in the middle of the night, take myself and my brother with her, and park in an open parking lot, and that's where we had to sleep for the night. What I later realized was that she was doing this to punish my father. It was her narcissistic form of punishment. So eventually this man, let's say her lover, the wife, found out about the affair. And this is how the affair ended. But her rage didn't. She resented my father for holding up a mirror to her choices. And every time he tried to love, just a little bit, I can recall him loving to play darts. And when he went out with his friends, to spend any time with his friends, she would punish him for it. She would wait for him to get home, and the screaming would start. All she wanted was control. And the only way for her to have this control was to keep him emotionally hostage. He wasn't allowed to have any joy. She wasn't happy. And no one else was allowed to be happy. Looking back now on everything that unfolded, I see my father as a deeply sensitive man, an empath in the true sense. He didn't fight back. He swallowed a lot of absolute BS. All of it. I don't know if his silence was both protection and pain, or that he just didn't know what else to do. So he stayed silent. But I see now that I'd inherited that silence. This was just the very first layer of trauma I carried. As I like to say, the moment the mirror first cracked. I most definitely didn't shatter. I adapted. I learned how to make myself small, to anticipate the storms, to survive in a home where love was conditional and unpredictable. In my next episode, I'll explore how this environment shaped my identity, how the seeds of low self-worth, low self-esteem were planted, and how I began to lose myself trying to earn a mother's love that was never available. Thank you everyone for listening. And if this story resonates with you, I want you to know something. You're not broken. You're not a victim. You're surviving something that should have never happened to you. And here together, we break free. Goodbye. Till next time.